Okay, good morning students of ABM, Accountancy, Business and Management. So, welcome to Practical Research 1. So, welcome again sa paggagawa ng ating research paper. So, no last week or previous week, nagawa po tayo ng abstract, introduction of the problem and its background, then statement of the problem. So now, I will discuss to you the next part of the chapter 1. So under nito is scope and limitation, theoretical framework, and conceptual framework. Okay, so scope and limitation, it is restriction of the applicability of a researcher that may arise from inability to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence about the component in financial statements. So scope and limitation, it is the compilation. It is the component of your research. So ano yung nilalaman, kung saan ba siya gagamitin, kung saan ba siya i-apply, kung sino nga ba yung related sa inyong ginawang research. Next, when all the audit procedures that are considered necessary either by circumstances, engagement, or client limitation, the audit is limited in the scope. So, under po ng scope and limitation is yung tinatawag nating respondent. So, ano nga ba yung respondent? The student respondent, sila yung magsasagot ng inyong research questionnaire. So, under ng inyong scope and limitation is yung mga instances na mangyayari, kung ilan yung respondent, kung sino yung related, kung ang respondent ba na kukunin nyo ay connected sa inyong research. So, in writing scope and limitation, there are some standard on how to write your scope and limitation. Dapat masasagot yung 5 question. What? So, sa what, makikita or masasagot kung ano yung thesis title nyo, how, paano siya gagawin using survey questionnaire na sinabi ko sa inyo na isa lamang. Then, 3, who. Sino yung mga isa-survey ninyo? Sino nga ba yung mga kukunan nyo ng data? Next, where? Saan? So, kailangan sa ating research na gagawin ay dito lamang nakabase sa school. So, ang gagawin yung place, di itong school. And then when? So, ipagpalagay na po natin na by next year. So, lagyan na lang po ng ganun na quotation. So, it is simplified. The scope and limitation is the question from what, how, who, where, and when is connected or it is indicated with your scope and limitation. So, scope and limitation, it is a form of sentence that been asked or by answerable by what, how, who, where, and when your research be do or where research it is done. So, nakalagay dun sa inyong scope and limitation is yung data. Kung paano nga ba or saan siya gagamitin. Yun nga, sinabi ko sa inyo, kailangan masasagot yung 5 question na yun. Then, scope and limitation, it is the mainly coverage of your study. And the limitation is the limit of your study or topic. So, the scope and limitation, alam nyo dapat kung sino lang yung mako-coverage or magiging scope ng inyong research. And then, kung sino lang yung pinaka-limit na magsasagot nito. Sa pag sinabi po nating research, so kalimitan po, from 15 to 20 respondent lamang. So, hindi ka pwedeng lumampas ng 50 plus or 100 plus. 15 to 25 respondent is okay na. Kayo naman po ay senior high school pa lamang. Then, pagdating po siya ng college, iba na po siya. The scope, yun lang po yung coverage ng ating research. Next, example po niya. The study compiled with the researcher started last January 3 up to March 2008. Juniors and senior students or Cordova Academy are the respondent of this research. This research is all about using defense mechanism to the students. It is stated here in the research paper about the teenagers to improve their self-confidence. So as you can see in the example, nandyan nakarelate or dyan nakalagay kung kailan nag-start yung kanilang research from January 3 up to March 5, 2008. So, ang ilalagay nyo dun sa atin is August 24, 2019 up to May or April in the present. Junior and senior students of Cordova Academy. So nakalagay doon kung sino yung inyong iso-survey o sino yung magsasagot ng survey. Ang nakalagay dito is sa junior and senior students of Cordova Academy. Next, the research is using about defense mechanism to the students. So nandun yung pinaka-aim, nandun yung nakalagay kung sino or ano nga ba yung purpose ng inyong research. Then, it is stated here that the research paper about the teenagers do to improve their self-confidence. So, hindi lang information or data lamang na ilalagay nyo doon, kundi nandun din yung purpose. Next, proceed po tayo sa theoretical framework. Theoretical framework is an analytical tool with several variation and contexts. It can be applied in different categories of work where an overall picture is needed. It is used to make conceptual distinction of and organize ideas. So, theoretical framework, it is a consists of several variation and context. It is applied in different categories. Kung nahanap nyong thesis sa atin is all about business, ang hahanapan po natin ng theoretical framework is all about business. It is used to make conceptual distinctions and organize idea. So, theoretical framework, it is a kind of evidence. So, as you can see in the example, ito lang po ay example ha. Halimbawa, ang kanyang thesis title is Job Satisfaction of Grade 11 Einstein in ICTED Institute of Science and Technology. So, example lamang po siya. So, ang theoretical framework, it is a kind of graph or it is a kind of table which is connected with your thesis title. So, hindi ka lang basta kapag nakakita ka sa internet ng table na may konektado sa iyong research, ay kukunin mo na. Kailangan po yung ilalagay sa theoretical framework. It is exact and sobrang lapit niya sa inyong research paper. So, yung kasing theoretical framework, it is an evidence. Magiging evidence siya na legit or may pinagkuhanan or masasabi na may kagaya ang inyong research paper. And then, yung research paper, kung makikita nyo po dito sa ating graph, yan. Sinabi po siya ni Analytical 2015 or Analytic 2015 that those graph is been used for research. So, hahanap po kayo ng graph na kaparehas or related with your research. So, yun po yun. Then, may nakalagay din po description. According to Analytic 2015, there are actually two other kind of variables which are basically dependent variables but work a little differently. These are moderator and intervening variables. A moderator variable is one that modifies the relationship between two other variables. For example, suppose that the cases are whole organization and believe to the diversity and the organization can help make them more profitable. So, as you can see, hindi lang basta graph ang inyong hahanapin. And then, meron din po tayong description na tinatawag. So, hindi lang siya basta graph, kailangan meron din siyang explanation. So, kung bakit naging konektado, kung paano siya nag-connect. Halimbawa, job satisfaction ay connected with job freedom and then the salary. So, paano po siya naging relate or paano siya maikukumpara or paano siya mabibigyan ng meaning regarding with job satisfaction. Next po, conceptual framework. Doing your representation of graph based on your research output. So, conceptual framework, it is a task where you as a group, kailangan nyo pong gawin. It is doing your representation of graph based on your research output. So, kung ang inyong graph or ang inyong research title ay all about business, halimbawa, yun nga kanina, job satisfaction, job freedom, and salary. So, pagdating po ng conceptual framework, meron po tayong tinatawag na tatlong process. So, first is yung the input. So, profile of the respondent, age 14 to 17. Yung input po ay kung sino po ang related na magsasagot. Yun din po ang nakalagay dapat sa inyong statement of the problem. Di kami pinalagay po ko dong profile of the respondent. Yung ilalagay po dun sa input ay yun din po nakalagay dun sa statement of the problem. So, profile of the respondent, kung ang age niya ay 14 to 17 na magsasagot ng research, ilalagay nyo po. The sex, it can be male or female. Then, lalagay po dun sa baba is yung kung sino po yung isa-survey, kung sino yung mga magsasagot ng inyong thesis. Next, the process. Analysis of data through interviews, questionnaire, and survey. So, ilalagay lang po dun sa process ay yung interview, questionnaire, and survey. Yun na po yung ilalagay dun. Then, the output, ang lalagay po dun sa output is determine the effects of social media and academic. So, maglalagay po kayo ng factors na related sa inyong thesis title. So, meron po siyang tatlong process, the input, process, and output. Input, yun yung profile of the respondent. The process, kung sino or ano yung gagamitin mo para makuha yung data. And then the output, kung ano yung magiging, kung sa tingin mo ay magiging result ng inyong research. Ano nga po? So, the output, it is the result of your research output. Next. So, balikan lang po natin. Yan. So, scope and limitation, kailangan masagot po yung 5 questions na what, how, who, where, and when. So, again, the scope and limitation, it is the coverage and the limit of your study. Then, theoretical framework, it is a consists of graph, which is related with your research title. Next, or the research output. So, kailangan po may description din. Then, conceptual framework, dito na po tayo gagawa ng sariling research output using the 3 graph, the input, the process, and the output. Sa input, nakalagay ang profile of the respondent. Sa process ay yung tatlong process kung paano makukuha ang data, and then the output, it is the result of your research. So, dun sa output, it is possible. Possible lamang po ang ilalagay dun. Possible result. Ano nga po? So, yun lamang po at maraming salamat.